Hey, if you guys are just joining, I am just setting up my screens. If you're not in the Discord and you're joining elsewhere, um, I am currently slightly short on SPX using SPX options. But hold on, give me a second. Right now, I'm just trying to set everything up, make sure I have my watch list down, my levels down. Okay. Sorry, I just need to get calibrated. So on my watch list today, focused on a few names. I'm really interested in Snow. The weekly, it's finally consolidating in a way that is interesting to me. It's been something that I've been watching for quite a while. Just waiting for the right time for it to work. Wow. So Celsius is a name that I posted on Friday or on yesterday about the weekly bull flag, the weekly hammer candle that we saw. Sorry, hold on. Let me just get situated. I want circle, Snow. Okay. I'm starting at, there's a lot of names I'm trying to keep track of, so I need a few screens up. Vive is also super interesting. Okay. All right, so market's open. Let's focus a little bit more now. See what we're getting here. I'm currently short using some puts right now. I'm gonna take a quick profit on those at 7. If you guys are on my Discord, at 7:30. So I just exited at 7:30. Honestly, wasn't even looking at levels, just wanted out. So that was a 7.3 divided by 4.7. So that was a nice 55%. Okay. All right, let's get focused here. I'm getting a lot of triggers and alerts. This is why I actually don't do the stream right at the open. It's just there's a lot going on. But let's see. Okay, so I'm getting a lot of triggers and alerts. I'm going to try and see what triggered, and we can see if we can take on any. So everything is triggering for me right now, which makes sense because we had this pretty meaningful gap up. One of my bigger positions right now is CrowdStrike. That one looks really good. This looks really good on the daily and the weekly now. If you look at it, you can see this formation here, like very, very nice, very good consolidation here after a pretty giant move we saw the week prior. And so CrowdStrike is setting up for a pretty massive move. On VIX, just quickly, and this is going to seem kind of scattered because there's a lot going on, but on VIX right now, you can see 1583 is a pretty big level. We will see if that continues to hold or not. So snow's looking good here. It's pretty interesting pre-market. Let's see what other triggers. Yeah, good thing I got rid of those shorts. So, okay, as I mentioned in my morning note for SPX trading, I'm really looking for a reaction here at 71. So let's see what we get. So crisp just triggered. Let's see what's going on. Let's turn this into the daily chart. It'll be a little small for you guys, but okay, circle just triggered. Let's see what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin's holding 12. Okay, okay, I'm definitely gonna add some circle. Let me just go into so I'm gonna add circle shares and I'm gonna add some options. The reason I like Circle is I think this move in Bitcoin reclaiming 112 is good. Treasury company is really nice. And then I forget what other treasury company just got a really aggressive valuation. Not treasury, stablecoin company got a pretty aggressive valuation. But I think the market for crypto and just for proxies is quite healthy. It's something I was quite bullish on before. Obviously, with last week's price action, had to cool off on the bullish stance there. Okay, I'm gonna just mention this in my Discord. Added Circle shares. And then let's see as the market cools down and it's not as chaotic. Okay, Snowflake looks good. Snowflake holding that level is very good. First, I want to get my circle ads in. So if you're trading this and you're like, I don't know if I want to add circle, a really good way to wait is for this retest of 129. It will probably happen. But let's see. Maybe, okay, here's what I'm going to do. Before Snowflake runs away, I'm going to add Snowflake. The October 17 calls are pretty interesting. Can give it a little bit of time here. Wow, look at Tesla. Tesla is crushing it right now. Amazing. So Tesla is something we added the other week. It is a really good chart. It looks really, really good. Okay, so now what you're seeing is, okay, right? So with SPX, this reaction at 71 is quite bearish. We want to see this play out a little bit before we get too aggressive on adding any positions, right? So the golden rule, the golden rule basically says we need to test around 52 before we can move much higher. That is the golden rule. Typically, it plays out on the same day, so we would expect for it to play out today. I already took my 55% I made on my puts and very happy with that. I'm not going to chase this yet. Let's see what reactions we get before we decide to do that. Let's see how the AlphaPod account's doing today. What positions are in there? So WMB is kind of taking a little bit of a hit today. We did exit some of our positions on, oh wow, look at NVIDIA. Yeah, sorry. I know the stream probably feels very frantic, but it's just really hard to stream at the open. So maybe I'll push this to 7 o'clock Pacific. There's just so much craziness going on. So Celsius, I'm gonna put alert there. BRK.B just triggered for me, so I want to check it out. Okay, it triggered for me on the support, so I'm gonna watch that. If you guys look at Nvidia, Nvidia is just flying, 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 flying. Let's take a look at option premiums too. So if we look at options premiums, usually in the morning we have to expand this out. We can see that premiums are a little bit more bearish on SpineNet than they are on Tide. Tide is quite bullish, but if you follow me, you know that I care more about SpineNet. One thing I will say though is in the morning, it's really hard to get a clear gauge of where the market's going to go based on early premiums. It's too noisy. We can see VIX is shooting up a little bit, right? VIX is shooting higher. We can see the index is failing 71. Honestly, this is a good short. With VIX picking up, we failed 71. Really want to see what we get. So this is the devil, the devil number 666. Let's see what we get there. I'm gonna check out some other screens or other tickers while we do that. MicroStrategy wants it. I hate trading this name. I haven't traded it that well the last 2 weeks. You can see, okay, if we look at premiums, premiums are ticking up. It can actually be pretty decent here. Yeah, so VIX, so the golden rule is going to play out most likely, which means we see 55. Right, so we're going to see the market drop. I'm not going to trade SPX right now. I don't know if it's just because I'm, Monday morning, I just don't have the enthusiasm or energy, but it's not terrible, right? It's not a terrible spot to short. Okay, Circle's looking really good. I'm going to add Circle options now, and I'm going to add it to the small account challenge I have going on right now. I'm going to add next week calls. Just a small size. Next week, 145 calls for 380. I'm going to post that in Discord. Okay. Okay, Snow here is not a bad place to add. Circle, yeah, Circle's going to do some damage, and oh, I guess in a positive way. Should get a pretty nice move. Because VIX is really pumping here, really pumping up. So if we compare this to premiums, let's look at Superflow again. So we can take a look at, Okay, so we could see SpyNet continues to be bearish. We know the golden rule should be in play today, which means that we should expect the market to the SPX to test 6650. That said, Nvidia is very strong right now and could be carrying the market. So let's just see what we get. Let's take a look at, so Snowflake is one of my top watches this week. Let's just take a second while we're waiting for the market to digest. Let's just take a second to look at why. So we had this pretty insane earnings move here, right? So we had 20% move on earnings. And then I know it's kind of hard to see with all my lines, but basically we had this big move and then just this sloppy chart, just moving up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Finally getting some tightness now. Finally getting some tightness. And you can really see it come through on the weekly, right? So if you look at the weekly, you can see that, oh wow. Hold on, sorry. More Bitcoin's getting a really big pump here. MicroStrategy can do a massive move. I'm gonna, hopefully not get burned this time. MicroStrategy, I'm gonna add some weeklies here. Bitcoin is ready to make a move, it looks like. Okay, I just added MicroStrategy 335 weeklies for $3, small size, posting it in the Discord. Let's check out Ethereum. That's been a name that I've been watching. I wanted to add it pre-market. Yeah, I wanted to add it here. I just hesitated quite a bit, and now I'm paying the price for that. It's okay. But yeah, Ethereum was looking really good at 4,100. Mentioned it in my morning note. So pretty solid. Bitcoin's acting really good right now. Really, really good. From a trading SPX perspective, I don't see a good trade yet. Just kind of watching to see what happens here. There's a lot of noise kind of cluttering me right now. Monday mornings are usually a little bit tough. Let's take a look at CoreWeave with NVIDIA bidding. CoreWeave is getting a nice move up here. It didn't quite, I wanted to see if we got to test the trend line. Right now, we're just testing the 8 EMA and this key level here. So I'm just going to keep it on watch. And then I think Snow is, yeah, market looks pretty good right now. Right, we're pushing through 61 again. Let's take a look at premium. You can get any clue. Premiums are converging a little bit here, which is good because they were looking bearish prior. Let's look to see if we can get an upside move. Somebody pinged me about BE. BE is getting a move. Not interested in it right now, but definitely interesting to watch. I think it's just the whole like energy set, right? You can see Oklo, you can see NVIDIA. It's just kind of like that overall chip infrastructure bid happening. Circle looks really good. MicroStrategy's moving. I'm adding some circle November 200 calls for 474. Added circle November 21 for 200C for 474. Okay. All right. So let's see we get Bitcoin really moving quite well. Let's see if we can get some direction on SPX and maybe squeeze out a nice trade from there. And then let's take a look at Crowd. CrowdStrike is doing okay. It's really needs to get through this 486 level, but something I even thought about over the weekend about just adding pretty aggressively to add more. Oh man, IoT. That was a big ad for me last week. Let's see what's going on with it. Failing quite a bit here. It tested the 8 EMA and just couldn't handle it. Let's see if that's just noise or not. Okay, SPX looks like it wants higher. Let's see what it does at 71. Okay, I think it's going to go up. Like, while I want the golden rule to see through, I don't think we're going to get it here. I think SPX wants higher. We are going to find a good trade. It's been a little, gotta wait patiently for the right trade to come through. Again, golden rule says we need to come back down to test, and we just don't have a lot of upside here with the gamma. Like 75 to 80 is going to be a hard level to get through. So hard to take this long with any confidence. Yeah, and we're kind of seeing that play out here. So just going to wait and see what we can get. Right, we just chill. That Bitcoin volume is pretty significant. And if you look at BTC on the daily, It's now fully through the 8 EMA. It definitely wants higher. You have this number here. Okay, that was annoying. Okay, crowd coming down a bit. Yeah, too bad. Let's see what we get. So snow here, basing here is quite constructive, can be pretty good. If we take a look, let's take a look at SPX. You can see it is setting up. It looks like it's just there's just a lot of overhead here. Along with any conviction is definitely a bit tricky. Snowflake looks pretty good. I think I'm going to add here. I like how it's holding up quite well. Okay, I think you can take SPX long here. I'm waiting to see. It's just nothing with huge size. Let me get my Snowflake ads in first. I'm going to do it for the small account. Okay, Snowflake. Yeah, I'm going to add Snowflake here. Added Snowflake 1010 235 calls for 365. Okay, let's see if Snowflake can get moving. With IoT, I still like have pretty good conviction in this one, but I'm not gonna force it. Doesn't look perfectly ready yet. So gonna wait. If it can reclaim this level here, pretty good ad, but I'm not too worried about the position. Yeah, VIX creeping up. Really, really hard to trade SPX here, which, as you've noticed, I haven't added anything yet. Tesla, what a little fake out there. Let's see. Tesla, okay, so you kind of see what's happening. It failed this 451 level. I think that's okay. Okay, I think we can take SPX long here. It's just a little tricky. A little tricky. If you take this long with me, just do not oversize. Just waiting for the right entry, just waiting to see how it reacts here. There's not like the upside is kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky here. Take a look at tick. Market feels strong. It's really going to be hard to get up through this level, but if we do, it could be a pretty violent push. Let's just get confirmation. I don't want to get trapped in here. This looks good. I'm adding the C680C for 490, small size. Okay, we're getting tick failing a little bit, so let's see. 10 on CoreWeave. Sorry, I just saw your comment. When did you send this? Anyway, on CoreWeave, let me check it out. CoreWeave I like. I'm pretty long stock in CoreWeave right now. I'm pretty long stock. I trimmed a lot of it on Friday, but I'm still have around 30K in stock right now. Okay, but let's focus on SPX. SPX looking good for our ads there. Let's see if it can hold right at the big level. So it looks like it might be failing here. Might be failing here. Let's see what we get if we can push through. See, IoT is coming back. IoT, okay. Let's see if this fails. Big, really tough spot, but it looks like it might fail. You know, we tried here at 71. It looks like it might fail. You can see why, right? Like pretty hard area. It looked like it wanted to push through. Gonna give it some time. Tick still looks good. Everything still looks good. Market looks pretty healthy. But we need to get through 71 in order for this to work. Okay. Looks like it can push through. Let's see. Let's take a look at premiums. Premiums look good, right? They look like you can see SpyNet is going a little lower on puts, higher on calls. Nothing super confirming yet, but so far it looks fine. But we're kind of front running this a little bit, which is why we added small size. Like you can see VIX is kind of picking up a little bit. I still think we're going to be able to push through, but we're at a big level. 71 is important, and there's just not a lot upside from our GEX levels. We know that GEX is at a pretty big spot here, so we're just going to keep watching. Not big size. What I am looking for is a reason to add more size. That is something I am focused on. Is should I add more size? And right now, basically, it says no. It looked like we could have pushed through. I think I might cut SPX. I just, $125 loss. I may take it here. Like I said, it was a small trade. I'm gonna wait though. I'm just gonna wait. Wow, look at crowd. Crowd is moving. Snowflakes moving. Everything's moving. So I don't know. I think the market might just be messing around a little bit. Look at Snowflake. Snowflake is pumping now. CoreWeave looks really good here. It just needs to hold the 8 EMA. But the market's pretty strong. Like I think the golden rule says that we need to get down to 50, but market is holding up really, really well. So it might be tough to see that play through today. Definitely want to be on the lookout for it though. Look at Samsara. Samsara's moving now. I added small size the other day. I'm just gonna add decent size now to the October 40Cs. You can see snowflakes moving. Yeah, I'm not worried about SPX right now. I might add more size if we can get some confirmation. And then in my small account, I'm going to add IoT here. I haven't added that yet. Okay, I added IoT October 17th 40Cs in my small account for 0.74. And I added 5 contracts in the small account. Really nice recovery there. Looks very good. Bull is really struggling today, kind of going up, down, up, down, up, down. Really, really having challenges here. SPX holding up really well. I think I'm going to add more size in my normal account on SPX. Just going to give it a second. It's holding up really well. I just know there's not a lot of upside here, so it's kind of tricky to get too aggressive but it looks good. Yeah, it looks really good. If it can fail down pretty quickly, but I regular count 2 at 540. So let's see if it's a look above and fail. Obviously, it can be that situation and can be a little dangerous there on the late ad, but let's see if we can get it to pump through. Snowflake doing really, really well. Pretty happy about that ad so far. For SPX, I'm going to set a stop on these at 250. So this looks very, very good. Look at Snowflake. I hope you guys added that. Looking really, really good on Snowflake. There we go, SPX. There we go. That is exactly what we wanted. You can take some profits here. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sure I get everything loaded up. I'm gonna take quicker profits in my small account just because it's a small. I can't. So at 650, out at 650. So posting that as quickly as I can there. Okay, so if you guys added snow, sorry, it's a little jumbled right now. I only see 12 of you in here, so it's a bit lighter of a stream than I would expect. So I don't know what's going on, but whatever. You can see snow, those ads, very, very good. MicroStrategy MicroStrategy is acting really good too. Bullish. Bender, are you here right now? Are you on the stream? Should I talk to you through stream? Hmm. Okay, I'm glad I took quick profits on my small account. Problem is, I didn't take them on my normal account, which is the struggle of trading two accounts. Or it's not even two. I have like four accounts that I'm trying to manage. Bitcoin's acting really, really good. You know what's interesting is MicroStrategy's acting really well too. Premiums on those calls that I bought, not moving too much, so up 30%. Let me take a look at bullish chart really quickly for somebody in Discord who asked. I don't really see I don't really see anything yet. I think this weekly on volume is interesting, but with earnings, kind of tough. Okay, um, I might need to cut those ads in my normal account. Premiums actually look extremely bullish, so I'm actually worried about that yet. It looks pretty good. Premiums look really good on both ends. This is gonna go higher. Yeah, I don't think golden rule is getting tested today. It looks like we're just gonna move higher. I'm seeing if I want to do an ad in another account, which I think I do. What's crazy to me is my weekly option on the MicroStrategy 335 calls are not moving on this pump. So I'm definitely a little confused by that. Okay, BFly looks good. I think I might add more shares of BFly. Wow, look at Bitcoin. BFly looks good here. Right, tested, held the 8 EMA. Seen some aggressive activity on BFly. If you look at the weekly very quickly, you can see weekly volume picked up pretty significantly. We finally got some options flow on it. I'm going to add some shares here to what I had already added this morning. Okay, this is actually a pretty weak tick, so we're going to watch that. I'm still here, just trying to figure out what to do with some of my positions. Butterfly, I really like it. Just trying to see if I want to add there. Looks good, but it's hard for me to tell. It got some bullish flow last week, though, so it can be good. Coin pumping. This is setting up. So SPX is actually setting up for a pretty decent reversal here. Just a little tricky to trade this, right? Might be coming down to test the 8 EMA, which would set up a decent long. VIX is picking up. Premiums are starting to curl a little bit. Let's get some direction. This is kind of tough. We might just chop around a little bit up here. Is there a promo? No promo, unfortunately. But if you join and don't like it, okay, so you can see Circle's working really well. Pretty decent size ad for me in shares this morning. Tem is working really well too. A lot of my stocks are working really well. I'm a little sad I trimmed aggressively CoreWeave on Friday, but still have a decent sized position, so it's not terrible. SPX definitely tricky here, just kind of choppy, not a lot of direction. It came down to try and test the 8 EMA. Didn't quite get there, but came pretty close. So let's see if SPX is going to mess around. Like, I don't know if it's going to get through this level here. It looks like it wants it, but let's see. All the underlyings are acting really well. Price action is fine, just really tough. It's really hard to get through this 71 level. Okay, so you can see that SPX just went to retest the 8 EMA, pretty much got there higher. We're right in this big gamma level, so I wouldn't be surprised if we saw done at 77 again. But so far we're doing okay. Okay, CrowdStrike doing really well. I kind of want to add to my position there in the small account. I'm gonna wait though. Another name I keep watching for a bounce, which you're actually getting it here. Okay, call me crazy, but I kind of want to add Honeywell here. Honeywell looks good. Okay, CrowdStrike might be the most insane trade I placed this year. Let's see. Let's see what happens. So just watching SPX, we're still in those SPX calls. I'm tempted to play with fire here. If you look at Honeywell on the weekly, hopefully I'm not missing anything moving screens, but if you look at the weekly, it's at like it bounced at a very good spot, picked up volume here on this bounce. It can get a pretty nice reversal here. If you just look at this, if it can push through this trend where it is right now, right? It's been failing the 8 EMA this entire move down, 8 EMA, and it's finally pushing through. So I don't need to get too aggressive adding early, but looks really, really good. So SPX, it feels a little slow here, a little slow. I won't say that's necessarily a bad thing. Market is strong. It just feels a little slow. So I'm a little cautious right now. I'm still pretty long those calls I added. I closed the ones out in the small account. I added in my normal accounts. Um, and with those, I'm pretty much break even on the ones that I added in my normal accounts. I'm kind of I'm kind of interested in pulling them right here. So let's see if we can get a push. If I look at mediums, it says we should get a push up, and the market wants a lot higher, right? So that's what the premiums are telling me right now. Whether we get or not, obviously, is up for discussion and TBD. Okay, let's see if we can get a push. Looks like it wants it, but my golden rule says that if it's not today, it happens tomorrow, that we come back down to 50. So just be cautious there. So IoT, if it can get through this 3792, should set up for a pretty massive move. Let's go back to tick, see what we're doing on SPX. Tick is definitely weak here. I'm pretty tempted to just cut any calls I have left. But let's see if we can get a little bit more. Tick is pretty weak. VIX is kind of muted. And then if you look at premiums, they're starting to get bearish again. I think I'm just going to cut those calls. I'm going to take a loss on those ones I added. Let's see if we fail 71. I'll just cut them. Good one for the small account. Normal account, tried getting a little more. Gonna see if we can hold this 71 level or not. And if not, then pretty easy to cut. You can see premiums are getting. We know that there's not a lot of upside room for SPX here, so taking calls is a little trickier. Tech looks really good. Let me pull up that chart. That was on my watch list and it triggered. So if you take a look at tech, if you look at tech on the weekly, you can see this big move followed by consolidation, followed what seems to be another breakout move. I'm not going to chase it there, but just added an alert for me to get notified if it keeps pushing through. Okay, SPX holding up really well above this 71 level. Holding up really well. There it goes, moving a little bit. Celsius 2 looks really good here. I'm just scared to add and chase it, but Celsius looks really good, especially if you look at the weekly hammer. Had a really nice weekly hammer here, right? Which I posted about. So it looks really good. A lot of names look good right now. So the question is like, how do you be selective and pick the best one, right? Galaxy's having quite the day. Quite the day. So if SPX can continue to base up here, chip away at the gamma when the dealers start to flip, the squeeze up, right? So this can be a pretty big squeeze move, which actually means, believe it or not, it's a good spot to get kind of wild with lottos. It might be a little early here, but if we can get some direction, it's not a bad spot to get aggressive with far out of the money strikes. I think we want to see if that plays out. WDC. WDC looks good. Sorry, I don't know if you're still on here if you when you added the question, but WDC looks, I mean, come on, it looks amazing, but is there a good entry here? I don't know. This is, buying off the 8 EMA here would have been a great entry. Hold on, let me go back to this. We see tick picking up. Let me look at premiums looking good. This is up. I'm going to add some YOLO calls. Okay, I'm adding some lotto calls. The 6690 Cs for 180. Those are lottos, meaning size them to 0. They can just completely go to 0. What did I say? Added them at 180. Got them at 180. So for the lottos to work, right, we have to be able to hold 71 and push through here. But it looks good. It looks fine. MicroStrategy's finally picking up premiums. Those calls are added are up 40%. Everything we've added on the stream has done quite well. I'm not sure if you guys are following along or adding, but we added Circle, we added Snow, some IoT. Everything is doing really, really well. Question is, can we squeeze out a lot more on SPX? Are there signs that, like, SPX is going to be tricky, right? This is a tough spot. Tick looks good though. VIX, no direction yet from VIX. But Tick looks pretty good here. SPX looks really good. Like, it's a trend day type good, but there's a lot of overhead here from a gamma perspective that's going to make it really tough to push through. Really tough here, right? SPX is trying to find its way. We're just kind of waiting. Just waiting. Just added the 85Cs for 280, but really small size. Tech just triggered again. Yeah, tech looks really good. Really, really good. Kind of hard, right, to chase it, but it looks good. Okay, let's see if we can get our squeeze here. I should add something in the small account, the challenge. This is pretty good risk reward for lottos. I would say like for a normal size trade, it's a little trickier here, but for a lotto size move, this is pretty good. So I'm adding the 85C for 310 in my small account. So trick here, right, is not getting stuck because we're still in a very, very tough spot. You can see VIX is coming down, which makes it a bit more bullish. You can see that premiums look pretty good. Um, so let's see what we get. Tick was moving quite well. I don't want to get stuck. Let me make sure I put my stops on. So I'm gonna put a stop on those 85s at 150. Actually, I'll put it at 170. So I want tech, but I'm not willing to buy it here, so I'm gonna let that one go without me. Everything tells me SPX wants it higher. But if we can't get through 77 here on this push, if we can't get through 77 here, definitely watch out for a massive failure, okay? But let's see if we can get the big move here. Looking good so far, looking decent. What we want to watch for is VIX to bounce here at 1583, key level. VIX bounces. What that means is SPX will um, find some selling pressure there. So we just let's just see what we get. Okay. Um, SPX doing fine. Really want to see if it can push through here. Puts are getting a little scary, right? So okay, this is like very tough spot. I actually don't know what's in here. Let's see if we can push through. We can squeeze up, but it's going to be pretty difficult. AMD's moving. I just got triggered on AMD. AMD looks really good here. This can be a pretty massive move on AMD, just so you guys know. I'm unfortunately not going to chase it, but it looks like a massive move incoming for AMD. So this is a big spot for SPX. If it fails here, it's going to be bad. If it squeezes through here, it's going to be good. So you can see VIX failing here. This means SPX probably wants up, but the premiums are not giving me 100% confidence here. You can see the premiums. You can see put premiums ticking up. So definitely not getting excited or comfortable yet. Though I'm happy that the position is doing quite well so far. I'm moving up my stops on the 80s to $4, and they probably get stopped honestly on any little push. I just don't want to I just don't want these to go into a losing trade. So if it stops, whatever, it's fine. Bitcoin's really interesting here. I imagine it stalls out a little bit. I imagine it stalls out a little bit here. Wow, BMNR, I hate that name. Can't trade it. Really bad ticker for me. Good for anybody who can trade it well. Market looks like it wants a lot higher. It looks like it wants to squeeze higher. Okay, so just let's see what we get here. Looks like market stalling out right in the zone we talked about, but 377 and it should squeeze up pretty aggressively. If we look premiums though, they are climbing up, so it's something to be cautious of, right? Um, if calls were selling, I'd feel fine about it because that's just delta hedging, but definitely a bit cautious here. So the $4 stops will protect us quite a bit from any damage while we still are positioned to ride the upside. Okay, I got stopped at 4, and that's fine. Let it go without me. Okay, so I got stopped out of my calls, the 80 calls. Let me just make sure my small account, I don't want to ride those. Yeah, it's not going to happen right now. We tried. Just going to take off the 85 calls too, and I'm going to take off the lottos. I'm going to take off all my calls here. It's just not going to happen yet. So there's one thing about being, wrong, and there's one thing about staying wrong. Like we knew that we were kind of pushing it here, that it was going to be tricky to get through, and so yeah, it was. We tried, or I should say, I tried. I tried, and it failed. So far, SPX still looks fine. Don't get me wrong, but just doesn't make sense right now to stay in a position here. So let's start looking. Yeah, actually, puts look interesting here. Just hard to chase. We're probably going to get a bounce here at the 8 EMA. But what's good about this is we're getting some good moves to make money, right? We're getting a little bit more vol that we want. So this might be a golden rule situation. Looks pretty good for golden rule here. Right now, just testing the 8 EMA, so nothing to do aggressively yet. But you can see why I exited the call so quickly, right? Like, there's one thing to say, hey, we're gonna try and push it and be aggressive and try and front run a potential move. And then, there's another thing to just stay wrong and say, okay, like, once the signs are there that it might be stalling out, when we know it's a riskier trade, well, there's no sense in staying in it. Like, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense to like maintain any hopium, like, hey, it might go up. Um, and as long as you have enough buying power, you shouldn't feel hesitant to just cut and add back. And if you don't have enough buying power because you added those calls, then you're oversized. So right now we're just testing the 8 EMA, really good spot for SPX to find some traction here. But this puts don't make me feel warm and fuzzy. So what we're probably seeing here is we're probably seeing the golden rule is probably going to play out, I think. So SPX is just holding the 8. Okay, great. Holding the 8 EMA so far. Premiums look really bad. You can see where Circle is stalling out here. Let's see if SPX will give us a good short setup. Basically, if you're new to my trading style and what I use, basically if the 8 EMA fails here, then we're probably going to see some downside. So you probably see something like this. Like maybe this bounces one more time to this level and then it just slices through. That's possibility one. Possibility two is it kind of cuts here, tries to bounce back at the 8 EMA and then fails down. That's possibility two. So let's see what we get here. Snowflake right, failing this level here. Okay, this is probably going to set up for a decent short. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe the 8 EMA holds. VIX is coming down too. NPower just triggered for me. This one, interesting one, looks pretty good. Kind of fits the theme, right? But this one looks really, really good. So if SPX holds this 8 EMA reclaim 71, that looks good. Premiums are starting to turn a little bit. Just I guess you would call this a bit choppy action. I think golden rule is going to play out. I'm a little hesitant to short here, right? But I'm looking at it. Look at AMD. AMD is looking very strong right now. Very, very strong. Okay, 8 EMA on SPX holding up quite well. Tick picking up here, VIX right at the support zone. So either VIX, bounces here and SPX fails here, or the opposite is true, right? VIX comes down and SPX goes up. Those are the two paths. But if you look at Tick, there's some good buying under the hood. But if you look at premiums are super bearish right now. So let's see. I don't know. Price action looks good on SPX. Tick looks good. Premiums just don't look good at all. I think based on premiums and my golden rule, it's not bad to take puts here. I'm gonna add in the small account, 60 for 340, just one contract. Okay, you can see exactly what I was looking for happened. We're getting that move down. Eight EMA is holding up on SPX though. Tick picking up too. Just tough spot, right? Definitely opportunistic. Anything here is opportunistic, but premiums insane, pretty insane. Based on what I'm seeing here, market should go down. There's a lot more reason for it to go down than up. Under 71, we have the golden rule in play. There's a lot of reasons for it to go down. We have VIX, right? We have VIX bouncing at 1583. Just a lot of reasons to see some downside pressure here. Question is whether SPX wants to fail at the 8 EMA again, or I guess find support there. Let's see if we can get the full move, or our puts are doing okay. Okay, we just closed the 10-minute candle under the 8 EMA. Let me see my small account position. Might take profits here. No reason to take profits yet. No reason. So good ads on the puts. Question obviously is going to be execution. At what point do we take our profits? Based on what I'm seeing, there's no reason to take any profits here. Obviously, the longer you hold, the bigger chance you have of the trade failing. and turning against you. Okay, in the small account, I'm going to take profits. I kind of have to. I'm going to take profits here in the small account at 590. Look at VIX move. 660 be the ideal spot. If we look at premiums, they look bearish still, so it can still sit in these in my normal account. Maybe I take my profit on MicroStrategy. I don't know. Kind of like still very bullish on the market. Don't need to trim aggressively. See that VIX pop there? Definitely notable. Crowd is failing a little bit here, but okay, we should get a pretty big move. This is the Yep, there we go. Nice. Okay, I'm going to take profits. You know, maybe it goes to 50. That's fine. I'm taking profits at 760. Okay, let me just make sure I got everything. Okay, I need to go put my computer in the charger. If you guys are new to stream, I know it's not the most organized stream, but this is just how I do it. If you're new to the stream or and you made more money than you did on the long exit or the long stops, please add some commentary so I know you're out there and that you're engaging. Nobody responded. So should I just cut the stream? You guys did that? All right, no engagement from the stream. I'm gonna cut it. I will come tomorrow like I promised, but next time please engage. All right, see ya.